Rita.
Oh, Keir Starmer's had quite the week, though. He got enormous praise for his brave speech talking about boots on the ground in Ukraine and how the UK was going to step in. But literally within 15 seconds of boots on the ground, he mentioned all of that would need US support, something we know the US is not in any way interested in participating in. So take me through the week. It started off with this alliance amongst the European nations, but then it seems like we've gone back to Zelensky sitting down with Donald Trump and negotiating the peace deal he should have completed a week ago.
Yeah, look, Trump's domestic policies, I'm a big fan of Trump's domestic policies. I think there are some concerns, some serious concerns about his foreign policy. But however, in Britain in general, we're having media commentators almost having a meltdown, enraged at the isolationism that Trump seems to be introducing for America. And what it's doing, what it's done really is exposed how pathetic and how weak Britain and the European nation states are. We are like children tugging at the skirt of America, pretending to be big men and women on the world stage. And you saw Keir Starmer trying to fill that vacuum on the international stage, saying, we'll put boots on the ground. But as soon as he said that, the German chancellor at the time kind of slapped him down and said, we're not going to put boots on the ground. And then he says, we need an American backstop. And I think all of this is just he calls it the coalition of the willing, but it's actually the coalition of the deluded. Because these are leaders who just simply refuse to accept early on that it's Trump. It's all about Trump. Whether you like him or loathe him, at this stage, it's all about Trump. As he said to Zelensky, he holds all the cards, whether you like it or not. And I think the rage of citizens in Britain, across Europe, should actually be turned not on Trump, but on our own leaders, because they have made us weak over successive decades. Mass immigration, if you have people coming in from all around the world, they're not going to have an allegiance to your country and fight for you. If you follow net zero policies, you're going to deindustrialize. You're not going to make primary steel, which is essential for a military. If you're educating your own citizens to hate their country because we're colonial masters and slave owners, they're not going to fight for your country. If you're spending billions on welfare and social security, of course you're not going to be able to put that money into a military. And so we have become weak in Britain and across Europe, and we are now waking up to that. The MAGA movement, the silver lining of the MAGA movement, is that it is going to make Europe great again by force. And that's what we're seeing. Panicking and a £800 billion budget that Ursula von der Leyen has tried and put together to try and invest in military, to try and make us actually credible on the world stage instead of just grandstanding on the world stage.
Brilliant.
Mayuran, you've raised the issue of social cohesion, an issue we've got here in Australia. Back to King Charles again. He's been trying to bring a pact of unity between Muslim groups and Jewish groups there in the UK. But that's been scuttled because Muslim groups are refusing to sign this interfaith pact, accusing the chief rabbi of Britain of being a Zionist.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, look, I mean, Islam is a spectrum. I want to really kind of pick this apart. So Islam is the Quran, the Hadith, and the biographies of the Prophet. But you have a liberal version of Islam, which is open and diverse and sees the non-Muslim and the Jew as completely as legitimate as themselves. However, as you move along that spectrum, you get more and more conservative, and the non-Muslim becomes sometimes seen as lesser, even dehumanized, and particularly the Jew as well. And so this is ingrained almost, as I said before, even theologically. If you look back to the Hadith, there are incidences of the Prophet having real conflicts with the Jewish tribes, culling a whole Jewish tribe as well. And so this is baked into the theology and the mindset of many Muslims. Even Mehdi Hassan, our good friend Mehdi Hassan, wrote many years ago in the New Statesman about how anti-Semitism is the dirty secret of Islam. Yeah. And he made a whole article where he actually honestly mapped out that it's actually ingrained in the Muslim psyche. Unless you're a liberal Muslim who is very open, has a very open interpretation, it is often the case that you're not going to jump on board with Israel. Certainly, you're not going to form pacts with the Jewish community. And so King Charles doesn't understand these tensions, but wants to be the kind of umbrella, virtuous defender of the faiths. And it's always going to backfire.
And Mayuran, just quickly before we go, Sadiq Khan, the Muslim mayor of London, seems to be inciting riots or protests or whatever, certainly inciting action against Donald Trump. Is this the way for a mayor of a major global city to behave?
Well, Sadiq Khan, he runs his whole campaign and his whole political career based on identity politics. And so Trump coming to London on a state visit is a massive opportunity for him to shine. It's a massive opportunity to show that to bring up identity politics, to paint him as a fascist, as a far-right racist, so that he can shine. He has no other policies. He has nothing to offer about the terrible crime that's going on and the breakdown of society in London. He doesn't care about that. Wherever there's a chance for identity politics to be thrust to the surface, he takes it. And that's his entire political career in a nutshell. So for him, this is a massive opportunity, and he's seizing it as best he can by inciting Londoners to step up and protest and cause a scene. And he wants to be the champion of that behind the scenes, or in fact, in front of the scenes.
Very strange and dark days for Britain ahead. Mayuran Senthilnathan, always great to chat to you. Fantastic insights as always. Thank you so much, mate. And thank you for staying up to be here on Outsiders as always. That's Mayuran Senthilnathan, isn't he brilliant?